Hey, everybody. Welcome. Charles, David, I see you just coming in. Welcome to our Crypto 101 and non-cash asset fundraising webinar. So I'm just going to give everybody a couple minutes to filter in. I hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. I'm coming to you from New York, where it's just a little bit drizzly. I would love for everybody to, while we're waiting, put in the chat where you are, who you're with, and also I'm enjoying a nice mug of Green Mountain coffee right now. This is one of my guilty pleasures. So let us know if you prefer coffee, tea, or other. If you're feeling a little cheeky. Welcome, everyone. Nice, San Diego. Weathers are probably a lot better than ours right now. One for coffee. Thank you, Matthew. Welcome from Chicagoland. I predict we'll see a lot of coffees in here. Washington State, welcome, Daniel. And David. Oh, I'm sorry, that's David's E Foundation. I'm losing my mind. Maybe I've had too much of the coffee. Welcome, Tara. I guess Tara doesn't have strong feelings one way or the other. Coffee, tea. That's okay. Not all of us are as fanatical as I am about coffee. I started many moons ago as a barista, and very nice. Okay, I support chai. I had a strong chai habit for a little while when I was working as a barista, so I support you. All right, we'll just give it another moment. A few housekeeping items that I probably should have brought up a little bit earlier. This webinar is being recorded. It'll go out to you all in the next few days. As we're speaking, as I'm speaking, please feel free to drop any questions in the chat, preferably the Q&A box, and we'll circle back around to the end. David in Colorado with banana milk. Nicely done. I have a friend in Colorado who would definitely approve of that choice. I think maybe it's something about the region. Very cool. I don't know where I would get banana milk over here, but maybe I need to look a little bit harder. Anyway, we'll try to hit all of those questions at the end, whether or not they're banana milk related. Before I jump into it, I'll give you a quick introduction of who I am. So my name is Ryan Fox. I joined the Giving Block after being a part of an NFT group called the Flower Girls. They were donating through the Giving Block. There was a little bit of star power. I think Reese Witherspoon was in there. Definitely didn't know who I was. But that was my first introduction. Crypto is a topic very near and dear to my heart, and I love helping nonprofits adopt this life-changing technology. Welcome from Baltimore. So I think we probably got just about everybody. Some other folks can filter in as they need to, but I'm going to go ahead and jump into it. Okay. Bear with me a moment. The technical difficulties we all live with now in 2023. Okay, very good. So today, my goal is to get everyone comfortable with some crypto basics and a high-level overview of non-cash asset fundraising. Let's dive in. Just to give you a brief summary of who we are, the Giving Block is the leading crypto philanthropy platform connecting nonprofits, non-cash asset donors. We are the best at two things: equipping nonprofits with technology, strategy and support to securely and effectively fundraise these assets. And number two, empowering donors to easily give these assets to the nonprofits that they love worldwide. For nonprofits, we developed the first all-in-one fundraising solution that includes a reliable payment processor to securely accept crypto, automated stock donations, and donor-advised fund donations. What makes us really unique, though, is that we provide non-cash asset fundraising education, strategic guidance, and technical support to maximize fundraising outcomes. Our unique crypto, stock, and DAF giving platform connects donors with thousands of vetted nonprofit organizations, and it all happens in a few clicks. So I am going to give a quick poll here. Let's see. Let's see which non-cash assets you currently accept. So there are a few different options in here. Let us know if you accept stock, crypto, DAFs, some, all, just so I have an idea of what we're working with today. All right, we'll just give it another moment. I apologize, guys. I just realized that I switched these polls on you. So you are taking which non-cash assets do you accept? And in a moment, I'll give you the other one. Just wanted to get a lay of the land. Now I'm just confusing everybody, but thank you all. So it looks like, I think we have just about everybody. Just give it another 10 seconds. Okay. So it looks like we have a number of organizations that are maybe not well versed in this area, haven't accepted any kind of non-cash gifts. A couple of stock, that's probably to be expected. We have a little bit more exotic, some cryptocurrency, some donor advised funds. So very exciting. We've got a good mix here today. That means that maybe there are some folks who are hearing this for the first time. And if that's the case, welcome. We're really excited to have you. We're really excited for you to learn about this. So let's jump into an outline of our webinar today. We're going to talk a little bit about fundraising with non-cash assets. We'll get more into the opportunity of crypto, stock, and donor advised funds. We'll talk about how it works, go over some philanthropy trends we're seeing and some interesting insights from our annual report. And then finally, we'll round it out with some key takeaways. All right, are you ready? We'll get right in. So fundraising with non-cash assets. Let's talk about the state of philanthropy. So right now, giving is down 3% according to Giving USA. Adjusted for inflation, it's down 10.5%. Is down as well, but the average gift size is up. The reason that's important is because these non-cash asset donors tend to have larger average gift sizes. To use a sports metaphor, and I apologize because I don't really play sports, but you skate where the puck is, right? And so if we see larger gift sizes are becoming the norm and fewer donors, it's generally a good idea to start cultivating larger gifts and higher net worth donors. So why diversify your fundraising? You want to drive home the future, that the future is with your organization, right? The last thing that you want is for donors to feel that you're outdated or not serving their needs. We also see an enormous amount of money is tied up in donor advised funds, speaking of the future. And 80% of the money in those donor advised funds, it goes ungranted every year. It's just sitting and waiting. And oftentimes the donors forget that it's there. You want to future-proof. Major gifts and planned giving are the most recession-proof giving channels. When you accept modern non-cash, you also build a future-proof program with younger, higher net worth donors as your base. But you have to ask. A lot of the time, they're not working with wealth and tax advisors. They're trading on their phone. They're donating on their phone. They're doing everything on their phone, and their Robinhood account doesn't tell them about the tax incentives for donating stock or crypto. So having this conversation is sometimes the most important thing to get these donors to make these gifts. let's talk a little bit about cryptocurrency, stock, and donor advised fund. Now, I'm going to go backwards because, and I appreciate everybody's patience. I gave you the other poll earlier, so we know what people are accepting. Let's find out what your priorities are. Oh, I apologize. Technical difficulties. Thank you all for your patience. All right. So it looks like this one doesn't like me. I guess that's why we did the one earlier. If you guys want to just put in chat, let us know what some of your big priorities are. Are you looking at new donor acquisition? Are you trying to increase your average gift size? Are you trying to diversify your revenue? You want to build out a social media presence, attract younger donors, or other? Right? Let us know what your priorities are when you're joining a webinar like this and in this new year. Now, as we do that, let's talk about this word that keeps coming up, crypto. So I'm going to keep this high level. The easiest way for me to explain cryptocurrency to somebody who's never used it or doesn't know about it is that it's a digital store of value. It's like digital money. To transfer units of cryptocurrency, users need a digital wallet to send and receive crypto. In a basic way, you can think of a digital wallet as like a bank account that you personally own, rather than paying a bank to keep it for you. One of the most incredible things about crypto is that you can send it anywhere in the world in seconds. If I send crypto from my wallet, it can reach somebody in the Ukraine or in Maui almost instantly, as long as they have an internet connection. Now, the blockchain, you might hear this word come up. The blockchain for cryptocurrency is just a public, unchanging record of all the transactions happening in that cryptocurrency. That's it. That's crypto demystified. Now, the scale of crypto users might shock you a little bit if you haven't seen this before. It has a massive user base, 300 million active users. As a comparison, that's slightly less than the total number of people in the United States. And we're the largest company, we're the largest country using cryptocurrency, or rather the largest user base for cryptocurrency. Almost, actually more than a third of that is registered with just one exchange, Coinbase, 108 million verified registered users. That's more than Charles Schwab and Fidelity, respectively, right? At 33.9 and 83.4 million. So the amount of active crypto users absolutely dwarfs stock users. It is a great donor demographic to tap into. These users are also super active. Again, this might stagger you a little bit. Stable coins, which are a type of cryptocurrency that are commonly traded, those settlements passed $7 trillion last year, significantly more than MasterCard at 2.2 trillion. Anybody who doesn't, who's never seen a stable coin, they're just one-to-one with the US dollar. So it's like trading dollars. The year before, in 2021, Ethereum, which is a popular cryptocurrency, moved over 11 trillion, blowing away Visa, who had just 10.4 trillion. So I know a lot of people are used to the idea of crypto investments, people buying and holding it like stock, but this is to help you understand that this is a very, very active user base. They're actively trading, sometimes on a daily basis, on their phones. So let's dig a little bit deeper into this, right? We'll talk a little bit about who is using cryptocurrency. So 94% of crypto users are millennial and Gen Z. And I say that as a card-carrying millennial myself and crypto user. 83% of millennial millionaires are invested in crypto. The average user's income is $111,000, much higher than the national average. And not only are they young, but they also tend to be wealthy, tech savvy, and financially literate. They're typically pretty engaged in their social media. Many nonprofits have a donor base that's slowly aging out. So crypto provides nonprofits with multiple generations of untapped potential. These donors are generous, young, and wealthy. Fidelity Charitable did a study on this last year and found that crypto donors are more likely to donate over $1,000 than their other investors like stock. The average crypto donor is in their 30s, and probably quite a bit different than the age of your existing donors, especially if you're getting stock or donor advised funds right now. We often hear nonprofits say, I don't have any donors in their 20s or 30s, or even on the younger side, right? That's totally normal because most nonprofits don't. The whole point of accepting crypto is to break into this new donor demographic. These tend to be net new donors and net new dollars. Let me say that again. Net new donors and net new dollars. We're finding that a lot of these donors are even just giving in crypto because of the tax benefit. And I alluded to this earlier, that they often don't understand the tax benefit right away. And being the organization to explain it to them may mean that you're the one who wins their donation. They're not your current donors, right? These are the people searching on Google, donate Bitcoin, donate crypto, looking for a place to make a charitable gift often. A lot of these younger generations, their net worth and wealth is stored in crypto, and it's a huge inconvenience for them to have to donate it as cash. So it's a huge convenience for them to donate crypto. The result of all of these factors is that there's a higher average donation size for these crypto donors. We just find that over time, they're making bigger gifts. If you could build an ideal donor in a lab, piece by piece, it would end up being a crypto donor. And if you steward this donor properly, you can retain them for years to come, right? The great wealth transfer has begun. We've all heard it. We hear people talk about it. So these millennials and Gen Zs are going to be inheriting around $70 trillion. You want to meet these people where they are and be ready to accept the assets they want to give. Right? Just to quickly illustrate how misleading headlines can be about cryptocurrency, there have been a lot of crazy headlines flying around in recent months. Over the years, if anybody follows it, Bitcoin is periodically declared to be dead for all time and nobody will ever use it again. We've had about 400 obituaries written for Bitcoin. It is still quite valuable. Nothing new to the crypto industry. It's fluctuated up and down 30% more over 16 times. And yet you can still see that year to date, there is no better performing asset on this list. Gold, oil, 10-year T-notes, the NASDAQ, Bitcoin outpaces them all. It may be the most tax efficient way to give because the math will tell you that even though it's down since its peak, it's up way higher than stock. Millions of people are still way, way up in their investment. And this chart shows you how far up crypto is over the last decade, right? It shows us that volatility is not always a bad thing. We're still at the same place roughly where we were last year, but year to date this year, Bitcoin is up almost 80%, blowing the other parts of the market out of the water. People just want to donate it. I can't say this enough. Check out these Google Analytics. So in 2020, we had significantly more people still Googling donate stocks as opposed to donate Bitcoin. Then we saw that gap close. In 2022, donate stocks and donate Bitcoin were equal. At the current trajectory, we expect donate Bitcoin to blow past donate stocks. Relative to the amount of nonprofits that allow donors to donate stock, crypto donors just don't have as many options. So we at the Giving Block work with over 2,000 nonprofits to accept crypto and fundraise crypto, and there are many, many more who accept stock donations. Right? It's just a bigger pool. So it is a much less competitive market for you to be in to try and compete against others accepting stock versus accepting crypto. We've also seen donor advised funds on the rise. These are spiking and they're showing up in newsletters and news. Donor advised fund allows you to establish and fund an account by making an irrevocable tax-deductible contribution to a charitable sponsor. They're self-directed. They've grown exponentially in recent years. So the chart you're looking at here is from the National Philanthropic Trust's recent annual report, and some of these are massive numbers. Contributions to DAFs in 2021 totaled just over 72 billion, the highest ever. That surpasses the 2020 value of almost 50 billion and is 46.6% year-over-year increase. A lot of money is locked up in these DAFs, but the grant payouts have been increasing, which is what we want. We want that money put to use. 2021's payout rate was 27.3%. It's the highest on record. So this is going up. Donors are looking for a place to grant these. Grants from DAFs to charitable organizations reached a new high at $45.74 billion. Charitable assets in all DAFs totaled $236.06 billion in 2021. That's almost $250 billion. Just to show you the potential for consistent charitable support that DAF donors can provide. Now, stock donations. We saw a little bit in that poll that some of you are accepting stock donations. This is the most common non-cash asset charities do accept. Typically, it's a very, very, very manual process, and it's the most popular. There is a huge opportunity here because over $100 billion was donated in stock just last year. So even though it's not as competitive as crypto, there is still a massive opportunity here and a lot of money being given to nonprofits. So this is a little bit about what these donors have to give. We're looking at a market size for cryptocurrency of about $1 trillion versus stocks at $46 trillion, right? So very, very large numbers. For US users, crypto is around 60 million. US users for stock is about 145 million. And in 2022, we saw 69 million donated in crypto and 100 billion donated in stocks. However, the average gift size for cryptocurrency was $6,500, whereas for stocks, it ranged anywhere from 5 to 10. So we see cryptocurrency donors as being a little bit more consistent. And because there are so few organizations accepting cryptocurrency, we see that even though there's less donated overall in 2022, that the share of it that organizations receive is much larger because there's just not that many places to donate it. But let's also talk about who's donating. So this chart is to establish for you who is donating what. We see that baby boomers and Gen X are still primarily donating stocks as a preferred tax-advantaged asset. But when we start looking at millennials and Gen Z, we find that they're doing both. They're both available on their phones, and they've both become very popular to store and trade their wealth. You have the power to help your donors give in the ways that are most tax efficient and support them the best. So by generation, we're seeing that cryptocurrency is definitely skewing younger donors, which is what every organization says, right? We want to get younger donors. So this is a relatively easy way to specifically focus on them. I think it's compelling to share with you all, again, these average donation sizes, drill down a little bit into it. Your national average for a cash gift is $128, for stock, $5,000 to $10,000. Average crypto donation, $6,500. So you can see getting a non-cash gift is exponentially higher than a cash gift. Why? Why is the giving so prolific in this space? Some of it comes down to tax efficiency. So it's better to get gifts of crypto and stock versus cash. So this slide breaks down the benefits by donation type. So a donor could give up to 30% more with a non-cash gift. And these crypto and stock gifts will primarily be major gifts, so a great area for you to focus on. Your gift will be so much bigger if that donor doesn't have to pay the capital gains tax, right? That's what we're talking about. Now, both crypto and stock are considered property assets. So a big part of the tax incentives this is a big part of the tax incentive when donating crypto or stock. The IRS considers these capital gains, but they can be sent to a charity. So that makes them extremely tax efficient, better to give them cash because the charity, the 501c3, does not have the burden of that tax. It's a win-win for the donor and the nonprofit. The donor gets to do more good by giving funds that would otherwise go to Uncle Sam, and the nonprofit receives the funds for a mission that they care about deeply. It's helpful to show an actual illustration of this. Sometimes I have a hard time wrapping my own mind around it because it's such a stark difference. So if I had $1 million of appreciated crypto that I wanted to give, and I give it to an organization that accepts crypto through the giving block, they're going to have that $1 million tax-free, right? There's not going to be any capital gains tax paid by the donor. Now, if instead the charity does not accept crypto and they tell the donor to cash it out to dollars first. Well, now the donor has more than $250,000 in tax bills, and they can only donate what's left, $723,000. Even worse, they donate the full million, and then later on in the year find out that they owe another $250,000 in taxes, right? That's exactly what we want to avoid. So with something like crypto, with this asset giving, we can see considerably larger gift sizes. And that plays out in the average gift sizes that we saw earlier. If you're asking yourself who else fundraises this way, because I keep saying that this is a small pool, a lot of nonprofits think that small pool of nonprofits accepting means fringe. It's absolutely not. So you can see from some of these logos who we work with: hospital foundations, community foundations, humanitarian organizations. You'd be surprised how many well-known nonprofits are already accepting crypto. We work with over 2,000 orgs worldwide, from St. Jude and United Way to local, smaller sized nonprofits, land trusts, ones with regional reach at most. Nearly 3/4 of our organizations are small to medium in size. We have built hundreds of successful crypto fundraising programs that raise over 6 figures a year. So the key takeaway here is that we work with all sizes, and these nonprofits have realized the benefit of diversifying revenue. They're starting to cater to younger, digital native philanthropists. But where is all of this going? So just a deeper focus on this tax education. Even though so many individuals hold stock in crypto, they're not all savvy, right? As I said earlier, they don't necessarily have a broker like their parents did. Instead, they might be doing this through an app. So they may not be as knowledgeable about the most tax efficient way to give. The education on tax is the key to unlocking these larger gifts. So as we continue to expand and share the tax incentive of donating all throughout the crypto ecosystem, and as crypto donors are learning to become more tech savvy, the amount of crypto donors have been accelerating. This great wealth transfer that you see on the screen is already starting to happen. It's going to keep speeding up and accelerate into the future. So 83% of millennial millionaires have crypto. There's $70 trillion that we're going to see change hands into Gen Z and millennial windfall wealth transfers, estate gifts, and inheritance gifts. And a lot of this money is predicted to flow into the cryptocurrency market. About 10% of that wealth transfer is predicted to go to charity. So the question is, are you going to be available to accept it? Let's get to the nuts and bolts for a moment. Let's talk a little bit about how this actually works. Now that you kind of see how exciting this prospect is, these larger gift sizes and this smaller pool of philanthropic donors. So we'll show you a little bit about what the donation experience looks like for one of these crypto donors. So this is our donation form. It's mobile optimized. It's a simple iframe that you copy and paste to get set up on your donation page. This allows your donor to select crypto, stock, or credit card, as you can see up here. Now we've added donor advised fund as well. And this is the crypto experience that you're seeing here. So they're just getting either a drop-down list of about 70 different cryptocurrencies or the 3 most popular, and they can choose the amount of crypto or the amount of dollars. Add a note. Automatic receipting is involved in this process. So the org is not having to do any of this manually, just to give you an idea of what's happening, right? Now, if the donor wants to give stock, if you're familiar with handling stock donations and how labor intensive it can be for the donor, this is a big game changer. So the donor can give stock in a few clicks. This is going to all be completed in under a minute. You don't need to call their broker. Everything is handled digitally. So you as the nonprofit don't have to do anything on the back end. It is a glorious and time efficient way to process your stock gifts. Anybody on this webinar who has manually processed a stock gift understands the vast difference between their current process and a few clicks like this. It's a liberating experience. We do also have an integration with Chariot. So this enables those donor advised funds that I was talking about. They can connect their donor advised fund directly to this in a few simple clicks without leaving the website. So I'm sure some of you out there are familiar with the kind of the guessing game, the game of Clue that starts when a donor advised fund comes in, and then you have to spend needless time tracking it down and figuring out where the heck it came from, who it came from. So this saves everybody time. Now, As you're using the platform, you have a dashboard on the back end. It's got all of your donor information, transaction info, reporting. We do integrate with most CRMs. I think most of you are probably using CRMs right now that we'll integrate with through Zapier, which makes this really easy. Everything is going directly into the system you use already. We also automate the tax receipts, as I mentioned a moment ago. So that happens right at the time of donation. And that's with, there's a donor file on the back end. So if they come to you during tax season, you just click a button and you can resend it to them. Not having to do all of this manually lets you give time back to your team to accomplish your goals. Now, speaking of saving time, we do have a ton of integrations. The Zapier that I mentioned a moment ago, these are all throughout the crypto and tech ecosystem, Salesforce, Omatic, Monday.com, just to name a few. So the idea, again, is to make this flat, simple, and easy. Let's switch gears a little bit. Instead of just talking about the technology and the assets, let's talk a little bit about trends. So some 2023 philanthropy trends. Now, specifically, right now, we know that there's something going on in the world. So in 2022, we saw a leap in donations in April and June. April's donations were attributed to donors wanting to make an impact in the Ukraine. That was during the humanitarian crisis there. And in June, our LGBTQIA plus nonprofits saw a huge increase in donations for Pride Month. So young donors who give crypto and stocks through the giving block are showing that they give to causes when they can make a noticeable impact with a cause that they care about. Now it's 2023. We're already seeing this to be true after Syria and the Turkey earthquakes. NFT creators, like the ones from the club that I originally belonged to, and donors have leapt to show generosity. We predict that these giving habits will continue throughout the year. Now, today, this is actually happening as we speak, is breaking news. We launched our Maui Emergency Response Fund to help with the crisis in Maui. Shift4, our parent company's CEO, Jared Isaacman, if any of you have Netflix, he is the captain of the first civilian space flight, civilian flight into space. It was manned by a crew of them, and Jared Isaacman was their captain. He flies fighter planes for fun. He's absolutely an incredible human being and extraordinarily generous. So he is matching the first $500,000 in contributions made to that fund 1-to-1. So if you're helping with the crisis, anybody who's on this webinar, if you join us in this month, you'll be a part of this fund. Any donations, again, are matched 1-to-1, so contributions are going to be doubled. And then this fund will be dispersed amongst all of the members at the end of the month. What we're finding in general with these philanthropy trends is that asks for these non-cash gifts are winning out. We're finding people right now want to keep cash on hand. It's turbulent time, and they want to give assets. We still encourage you all to be actively fundraising, regardless of what's going on in the market, up, down, because remember, that up and down is what drives the market. That's what drives the value in the first place, and that's what's creating the wealth that your donors are giving. So there is never a bad time to be talking about crypto, stock, donor advised fund, all kinds of asset and DAF giving. Now, investing in technology, we see nonprofits are pouring more resources into the tools that'll help them spend their time more efficiently and effectively. I don't know who here has started using ChatGPT yet. That's beyond mind-blowing, but technology is clearly moving at an extremely fast rate. So you want to learn and embrace these new technologies before they become an expectation, especially at the pace of this kind of evolution. You need to, as I said earlier, skate where the puck is going. Meet the donors where they are, how they want to give. Face-to-face meetings with your donor will always be important, but as teams are looking to expand and do more with less, tech is what helps them hit their goals quicker. Now, the overall social impact is huge. It's extremely important in the crypto community as donors want their donations to be known. So many donations have been coming in, so many, especially from the NFT projects, like the one that I was a part of to help certain humanitarian crises, like we saw in Turkey and Syria as we were talking about. Now, what you'll see here are a few of the data highlights from a report that we put out. It's available on our website. It was our 2023 crypto report. So what we saw was that there was 125 million in crypto donations to us, or rather through the giving block since our inception in 2018. We saw even in a down year that we had a record number of nonprofits join us, right? A down year for the market. And the founder of Ethereum, Vitalik Buterin, made another huge contribution through the giving block worth almost $9.5 million to the University in Maryland last fall to help a research initiative on public health. We found that US dollar or US dollar coins were the most donated asset, which tells us that instead of investing in the up and down assets of the market, that we're actually seeing people hold their wealth, stable wealth, as dollars in crypto. And we process those US dollar donations, those US dollar coin donations, to the tune of 22.7 million to charities. That was followed after USDC. We saw Ethereum as the second and Bitcoin as the third, which was a big change from years past. So if you want to learn more about some of these data points, if you want to dig into the data, again, this is available on our website. You can read all about it. So let's circle back and get some key takeaways from this, right? We've been doing this now since 2018, and we just want to share some of the takeaways, especially, we've talked about some of them, for how to run a successful crypto philanthropy program. First and foremost, we want to make crypto easy for your team. We don't need you to be a crypto nonprofit. We just want you to open the door to the donors that make this lifestyle choice. Make crypto easy for your team. Revenue isn't the same as ROI. You shouldn't have to hire a whole extra person on your team just to do this. Outsource it to us. Let us take it on. We're offering the product and technology to make this easy for your team. We automate the receipting. We can convert to US dollars. We handle the reporting. We act as an extension of your development team. You don't have to handle all the complexities of crypto because we have it covered for you. You also do not want to neglect your donor needs, right? We're talking about skating to where the puck is. This is a non-traditional and new way of fundraising, so you have to meet these donors where they are and talk to them how they want to be talked to. Number 3, don't just accept non-cash assets, fundraise with them, right? Accepting them passively is a great first step, but success comes from fundraising. And we're extremely focused on helping you fundraise. We don't want you, this is kind of a running joke. If anybody has seen Bitcoin written in the news, you probably know that it's all one word. And it sounds like a silly little thing, but we've seen nonprofits start their messaging by hyphenating Bitcoin. We don't want you to do that. We want to save you that pothole, that trouble, so that you don't have to touch the hot stove and find out that it's hot, because we know exactly what temperature it is already. So instead of hyphenating Bitcoin and using it as 2 words and scaring off crypto donors who know that you're full of baloney, you can use our best practices, our copy, what we know works. We want you to use that to be active in the community, active on social media, plug into new groups. A little bit of effort here goes a very long way. You cannot just throw a donate crypto button on the page and expect the gifts to start rolling in. You must activate and create some strategy around crypto philanthropy if you want to see those results. It doesn't have to be a lot, but it does have to be. So our goal is to have you use the benefit of our wisdom and experience to save you time and maximize your revenue. So how do you get started with this wonderful way of fundraising? So you can talk to the giving block, prepare for an internal conversation, and have a demo with us. We'll show you what this would look like if you were to use it. Once you've been approved, you can open up your exchange account. That's the bulk of the onboarding time. It usually takes about a week. And this is the account that's going to take cryptocurrency and just turn it into dollars. You'll create a non-cash assets page on your site. So that's where people will go and be able to find you to donate cryptocurrency. We'll teach you how to rank for this. This is SEO, if you've ever heard that word thrown around, so that if I want to donate to you, I can just go into Google and type charity Y, donate crypto, and sure enough, your page comes up. So we'll show you step by step how to do that. We ask you to announce that you accept crypto stock and DAFs, because again, this is how you activate them. We want you periodically reminding your donors that this is available, because that's how you get them to donate. And then finally, you can work with our strategists to earn, convert, and steward these non-cash donors. And that all depends on how much or how little of our service you want. So I'm going to launch a final poll. I'm going to get this one right, guys, I promise you. And this is just simply to find out if any of you would like to meet with a member of our team. All right. Let's see. I'm having those technical difficulties again. Thank you all for your patience. Ah, there we go. Okay. So this poll is successfully launched. Thank you. Thank you all. My tech savvy has seen better days. The vagaries of Zoom calls in 2023. So just let us know if this is something that you're interested in contacting a member of our team about, and we're happy to do the rest here. I'm also, now that I've figured out this advanced technology of polling, I want to just start reviewing any questions that we've got in the chat. I can see. Okay, I'm just going to go up a little bit. All right, so Jean Ann, certainly you will get, if you reach out, we can provide copies of the slide deck as well. I'll put my email here. I can always send you a copy. I just put that in the chat. All right, I can see that everybody is here for the things that crypto does, so that's exciting. So Charles, 99% of our revenue comes from seniors, right? A very, very common thing. I hope to change that with crypto, but we would be surprised if we get donors under the age of 50. Charles, that's a common fear. The reality is that there are so few organizations right now that are accepting crypto that it's very difficult to get lost in the shuffle. You're essentially appealing to a group of donors that you've never tapped into before. Now, you may be very surprised who holds some of these assets, and oftentimes they're simply not talking about it with you, right? It's because they don't think you're interested. Not everybody is a chatty Cathy like I am. I'm the weirdo who stands in the checkout line at the grocery store and asks everybody what they think of the stock that's gone up or down. But most of your donors aren't going to say, "Hey, I've got Bitcoin. Do you accept it?" Right? Just the same way as you don't see that many donors clamoring to give stock unless you're a very rare organization. So you may not realize that you have donors that are waiting to be activated. It also doesn't necessarily need to be crypto. Remember that stock is also a part of this, and that's still wildly popular with an older set. So just something to think about. There are organizations that maybe don't have this younger demographic in their current donor base. This is a great way to start talking to them and getting them. Oh, Daniel knows that the struggle is real. Daniel just spent 6 hours figuring out how to track down and claim a donation this week. RIP your personal time. So this is a great way for you to shortcut that process. Jean Ann, I don't know about specific. I'm guessing that that's a CRM, ROI. Do you interface with ROI? You can always search if there's a Zapier integration. That's the most likely answer for it. But if you want to include that in the email you send me, we can always talk about. Daniel, same brain wavelength. David, so we do accept, does your platform also accept cash donations? So we have a credit card portion of that form. So donors can make their sort of standard credit card donations that way, recurring donations, I think monthly, yearly. So that's absolutely something that they can do through the platform. A debit card wouldn't be accepted in this case, but I think most donations are probably going through credit. Jeananna asks, what is the cost? How is it calculated? So we have a few different packages. If you'd like to follow up, that's a perfect reason to raise your hand and say, yes, I'd like to talk to somebody, because we can go through in more detail what the cost would be for a package that fits your needs. There's a few different answers to that. So I don't want to go off into the weeds right now, but we'd be happy to review it with you one-on-one. Okay. I see Mitchell and Jean Ann are looking for, oh, I see, I did not send it to everyone. Okay, let me put my email in the chat again. You can also respond to where you are getting a copy of the recording from, but I'm happy to be the go-between. I think everybody, can everybody see me this time? I think it says, yeah, to everyone. Again, thank you all for your patience as I master this advanced alien technology called Zoom. So if you think one of your colleagues couldn't attend today, they might be interested, or you think this presentation would be useful for another nonprofit in your network, please feel free to share. Let me know. I believe a recording is sent to everybody via email within the next 2 days, so you should be receiving this. And again, my email is in the chat, so you can get me directly at ryan.fox@thegivingblock.com. And if I can't assist you directly, I'm happy to refer you to somebody who can. That is all I have for everybody today. I'm going to give you back a little bit of time unless there are any last questions. Let me make sure I didn't miss anything in Q&A. Nope, okay. Thank you. Thank you all for your time. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your week, and we will look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you all so much. Have a great day.